This is pretty.
Empty clouds and heavy heart. Oh my goodness, does that strike home? I don't know if that's California or the Dust Bowl back in the 30s or whatever, but the drought. The drought is always evoking of great emotion. And Don Sims, a cowboy himself, says, "I'm too tired and broke to try another year again." And you see that in Betty Cutler's photos of the old ranch house.
Wow. That's what, again, that's what I love about this art show, is the connection between the written word and the painted picture.
Yes. Once you see them together, one is not complete without the other.
Absolutely.
Now, the nice thing is, when we sell these works of art here, and every single entry is for sale, when we sell them, we do provide the mounted copy of the poem to the person that buys the artwork. So they're buying two pieces of art.
Yeah.
Obviously, they are not buying copyrights, and these poems have been copyrighted by the owners, by the authors, but they are buying the mounted copy there. Carlin Jones, one of our really fine artists here at the gallery, has painted Trapped and Forgotten, and she's telling us about that pile of tumbleweeds all piled up there by the fence. And she is taking her inspiration from the poem Tumbleweed by Lynn Floyd. And how many times have we seen those fences holding all those tumbleweeds?
Which could be a metaphor for a lot of things in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is extraordinary combination of the art piece and the poem. I read it earlier.
Marley Warren is our photographer here. And Marley is one of our past winners in this contest. She not only does beautiful photos, she also writes lovely poems. But here she is the photographer who is taking her inspiration from a poem by Mike Hughes called How Can I? And she is saying, or he is saying, how can I ever reconcile your loss? My dream is to put away, to bear this cross, and so on. It's a lovely poem and a lovely depiction of that sentiment in the photo.
It's beautiful. And here's the poet Linda Foss.
Yes, I'm not an innocent bystander this time.
Good.
This is the one exhibition that I do enter occasionally. And I was very lucky that Kathleen Ludwig has chosen a poem of mine this year. And she has painted this lovely portrait of a woman named A Friend Like You, and that is the name of my poem. I don't write that much poetry, but I usually write it because of a specific incident in my life or a specific person. And I guess I take my inspiration from someone else, and thank you, Kathy, for taking your inspiration from me.
Yeah, it's a very good combination. This is an extraordinary...
This is lovely.
This is dry media, so it looks like pencil.
Yes. Annie Helmick is one of our new members again, and here she has done probably pastel, because she does have quite a bit of coloring in here, so I think it's more than just pencil. But it's lovely. It's called Women's Hands, and she takes her artwork name directly from Lynn Floyd's poem called Woman's Hand. And it's lovely. It talks about the women of past days that, or even current day, who have to work so hard in their everyday life, and how we're pretty soft because we have machines to do our work for us.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, how times have changed.
Yeah. Okay, this is beautiful.
A very colorful entry by Diana Coonrod called Desert Home. And again, she is painting to Mary Bradshaw. Mary brings us some nice little nuggets of poetry. Her poem named Desert Home says, "A saguaro stands tall, giving shelter and food. Desert home to birds." And that is exactly what Diana is portraying here.
Mm-hmm. This is a very interesting piece. You could ponder this for quite a while.
I'd say so. This is brought to us by Carol Ramsey. She is one of our very creative sculptors who does her work at the VVAA Pottery Studio. She brings us this little figure that's based on a poem called Atoms by Mike Hughes. And yeah, that leaves it open to a lot of interpretation.
It really does. It's very interesting, and I asked you earlier what material it was made of, and you were saying wax.
It's a wax material. Very good for sculpting.
Yeah.
Very good for sculpting.
A lot of detail.
Yes. Now, these entries in our competition point out the fact that we don't just exhibit wall art here, paintings and such. This competition is open to every form of artwork, although we are kind of short on the alternative entries this year, but we do have 3 beautiful entries here.
And I'll tell you, this is breathtaking.
That is a really good adjective for this gourd by Jana Ward. And this is gourd work. It's carved, it has inset stone, it has beautiful decor, painting. Jana is just one of the ultimate when it comes to gourd work, and we are so glad to have her back at the gallery. She took her inspiration for her work named Spirit Shadow from a poem by Marilyn Ball named Ghost Rider. Now, these two teamed up a couple of years ago, and I believe at that point Jana had done some lovely silver jewelry to one of Marilyn's poems. So diversity really shows its face here in the gallery during the Artists and Poets competition.
Because this portion of the gourd right in the very center, it looks so much like it is actual wood, and it's not. It's a gourd.
This is a gourd that was grown in a garden and has been very carefully prepared, and and then the artwork begins.
Yeah.
Because this almost looks like a wood carving. We have a very nice thick gourd in this case, so it lends itself to the capability of taking a lot of different types of artwork. And look at the inlaid stones here that Jana uses.
See, my biggest problem would just be getting the gourd to grow.
Yes, yes.
Let alone anything else. Just getting the gourd to grow would be tough.
There are people who raise gourds, particularly for artists.
Yeah.
And thank goodness they do.
Yeah. This is a darling little piece.
Is this a sweetie? My goodness.
And this is all real leather.
It is. This little saddle is tooled leather. It's done by Mark Bradshaw. And Mark does some really great leather work. And his inspiration is just the cutest poem by Lee Kimberlin, who always has a funny little twist to his stories. In this case, Lee has written about a saddle that he gave his daughter when she was very young. And then when she grows up, he says, well, why don't we just get rid of that saddle? And she says, sure, Dad, I'll sell it back to you. So there he goes, buying it twice for his daughter.
Oh, that's cute.
It is cute. Just a lovely entry and a lot of very, very fine work here, and some really good humor by Lee Kimberlin.
Yeah.